Hello Mackie students. So in this video, I'm not gonna show you the entire working of the solution on solving this question, but you can read yourself. I hope it's very clear. Okay, but this subject matter is about determine the shear force, the shear stress. Okay, you need to know the shear force in order to get the shear stress, and the torque or the moment. When you talk about the torque, it will be the moment because they share the same unit, but axially along the axis of interest, which is the rod or the post, which is the longest one, which will be the axis of interest. So it's given in this diagram, which you will convert into your own free body diagram. So to get rid of all these distractions, unnecessary aesthetics values in this problem in you see in the reality. Okay, but the point is, in this video, I know some of you, most of you, come here to get yourself gen up on how can you interpret this diagram. Okay, because you might be confused when it comes to 3D, but in 2D it's very easy because you don't need to deal with x and y or y and z, or x or z, z, whatever, depending on your geographical location, how you pronounce it in English or in English. Sorry, my tongue twist. Okay, so let's say if I wanted to find the moment, okay, the moment about the z-axis, okay, but they want to know the forces, the stresses, okay, or the moment, also the moment that happens at the bottom, okay, the ground, which is point D, because the action will be happening here. This is the handle, which you turn around in 3 axes. No, it's just in 2 axes, but this y is just an indicator. Okay, but nothing happens here, nothing happens on the y. And what forces and moments are experienced down here at D? Okay, so you might be confused. So you wanted to draw this in a FBD, but you don't know how, because you have pretty much a bad intellectual imaginary skill. Okay, so you don't know how to draw, but I'm going to show you. Okay, you have your, whenever you are doing these problems, of course you have your stationery ready on your table. So you have your ruler, sorry about the impairment here. You have your pen and of course your pair of hands, but you just need one hand because always, you know, your right hand will be the rule of thumb, your right hand rule that you might need and come in handy whenever you need to know the directional sense of a moment. Okay, so that's just theoretical, but this is very practical. Okay, so in order to draw the moment reaction that goes along, about the z-axis. Okay, so you know your perpendicular or right angle direction, right, or the distance. So when you talk about distance, it will be the ruler. Okay, and when you talk about the action, not reaction but the action, because we are not interested about the reaction at D, but we want to know the moment that happens at D due to whatever that happens up here. Okay, up here. Okay, so your action is your hand, because your hand is obviously doing all the actions every day, you know, holding the pen, or maybe you know, punching the bags and stuff like that. And you have your perpendicular moment arm, you have your action hand, and you have your one more, your pen. Okay, so your pen will be the axis that you are required to know, no, the axis that you're required to know about which axis. So this will be your axis, you know, just analogously I'm speaking. Okay, so let's say you know that this is the what I call this will be the place where you want to know what happens over here. this will be the distance. So you can translate it in a way that you hold your ruler as 2.5, but you don't need to be very specific on the distance itself, but you just pretend it is 2.5. Okay, and like I said, your axis of interest is x, right? About moment about moment x will be your pen, and this is your distance. Put it like that, insert here, hold on. Okay, follow according to the diagram. This will be your distance, okay, and your hand left will be your action. Okay, so you know that this is acting at 90 degrees, but you don't have to be perfect. You don't need any machinist square, and your hand will be acting at 90 degrees as well from this ruler. Okay, so now you can tell that how would the ruler bend? How would this ruler distance bend about the x-axis? How would it bend when it's pointing there? So it will point, it will go about like that, right? It will bend like that about the x-axis. So this is how you will draw like this. Okay, so this is the ruler, this is the distance, this is your vector force that happens in the z direction, and your axis of interest. Okay, be your x axis. So all of them are perpendicular to each other. Okay, so this is how you draw the free body diagram, in case you are confused on how to translate this into a free body diagram. Okay, and then as a bonus in this video also, I'm gonna show you how you want to know the reaction moment or the opposing moment that happens at this down at the post, which is stated there, D. Okay, so it's simple. You know that this direction is like that, so you go about the z-axis. Okay, you go around. Okay, so you had to label first x-axis. You have to label. In front here will be positive x, and behind, it's self-explanatory, it's going to be negative x. Okay, so using your right hand rule, your four fingers will be doing the curl about the sense, following the sense of the spinning moment. Okay, the tendency to rotate the sense, and your thumb will be indicating whether it's positive. It's positive over this side, or it's negative over the other side, the backward direction. Remember, according to the axis that we are dealing with, according to how you draw it. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, you have your fingers. It will be turning you'll be turning like that, right? It will be turning like that about your x-axis, turning like that. So which means that your initial moment according to this diagram will be positive mz. Sorry, mx. Oh, my bad. Mx, because it's moment about x. Okay, so it's positive. All right, so remember, you just need 3 of this before I wrap up. Your hands will be your action, your pen will be your axis, and last but not least, your ruler. Remember, it's the distance because it's used to measure the length of anything. Okay, so I hope that you pretty much got the big idea about this quick and dirty tip on how to steer clear of just some trivial confusion on how to translate a 3D into on the piece of 2D paper. Okay, bye. Thank you.